Good morning, everyone. Let us know about a few points. Cattell's approach of personality. So, Cattell is a psychologist who focused on personality or 16 PF personality questionnaire. Raymond Cattell was British and American psychologist. The term persona comes from the Latin word persona means a mask. Therefore, personality is one which permits a prediction of what a person will do in a given situation. It includes everything about a person. It's an internal mechanism that controls the behavior. He says that something is hidden in every person's inner, which is not at all seen outside. So, Cattell describes the personality is a complex set of responses which emphasizes overt behavior and de-emphasizes the hidden components of personality. Whereas Alport describes personality is a dynamic organization within the individuals of those psychosocial systems. Therefore, Cattell finalizes that it's something which can be studied scientifically and organized in a planned way. It's not an untestable mystery. Human characteristics behavior can be predicted based on underlying personality traits by using scientific study or experimental methods. By using all his research, Cattell developed 16 PF, that is 16 personality factor theory or questionnaire, by which person's 16 aspects of personality traits can be tested by using the 16 PF questionnaire. Here we have one formula, that is R is equal to F into SP, whereas R is equal to nature and magnitude of the response, F is equal to function, S is equal to environmental situation of a person, P is equal to personality. Thus, Cattell focuses on trait approach is the best, more powerful and fruitful aspect. Traits are inferred from the individuals based on their behavior. They are surface or source traits. What is a trait? Traits are nothing but characterological aspects or features of a person inferred from the individual's behavior itself. Thus, based on the performance stability, we have two types of the traits, surface traits and source traits. Coming to surface traits. These are very clear and can be easily identified by other people. These are considered as one construct or one unit of multiple traits that go together in a person. Example, being altruistic would be a surface trait, means a generous person. It is a whole entity. Superficially we can say that is surface trait is altruistic. These are essentially behavior samples which travel together. Next example can be tests or ratings of independence, boldness, alertness, enthusiasm, energy levels. When all these are correlated, they form a cluster or a factor revealing existence of surface trait of energy, boldness, spirit and so on. Based on these correlation techniques, Cattell formed nearly 50 to 60 nuclear clusters which are used as measurement of personality or measures of personality. Traits are described as bipolar opposites and distributed in continuous manner. Few people shows extreme degree of trait and most people fall in the middle or medium range of the personality. They can't be divided or separated as they reflect the operation of more than one source. These are personality characteristics which correlate with one another but don't constitute a factor because they are not determined by the single source. So, they are composed of many elements, they are less stable, they are less permanent and thus less important in describing the personality of a person. Coming to second one, source traits. After research, Cattell says that there are nearly 16 source traits on which people can be compared. They are considered as elements of personality in that everything we do is influenced by them. Every surface trait is caused by one or more of the source traits. So it's very crystal clear that source traits forms surface traits. All people have same source traits, but they exhibit in varying degrees. Source trait influences several surface traits. Source traits are main cause of the behavior. They are single, stable, permanent elements of our behavior. Each source trait gives rise to some aspects of behavior. Example, being altruistic is a surface trait, whereas source traits comprises of sharing, unselfish, helping, not jealous, not greedy, generous, and thoughtfulness. Therefore, according to Cattel, 16PF is the most important concept in his theory of trait. Most of his factor analytic research has become research for personality traits. Trait is relatively permanent reaction tendencies which are basic structural units of personality. So, source traits are most fundamental physiological, temperamental, social influences which combinedly forms personality. There are nearly 20 source traits with 2 subtraits. They are 1. Environmental mold traits which arise out of environmental or surrounding factors. The second one being hereditary or constitutional factors or traits which are from genetic aspects of a person, based on which a trait is expressed. We have 3 types of source traits. They are temperamental traits or environmental mold traits. This is nothing but with what speed, energy, emotional reactivity one person responds to another person in his environment. Second is dynamic traits. These are concerned with goal directed behavior of a person. Third one being ability traits, describes how well or efficiently a person works to reach out his goals. Therefore, the practical advantages of identifying traits are to know the modality of expressions in each individuals of society. Example, if one is concerned with measurement of intelligence, the test is dynamic temperamental trait should be at optimum level and the intellectual trait should be at higher level. In the same way, if the ability traits are ignored when dynamic and temperamental traits are going to measure in a clinical investigations. Therefore, the experimenter should be quite conscious of what trait he is going to measure in a selected subject or a person, and this is all about the trait theory of Cattel.